You wake up every single day with a choice to settle for average or to strive for greatness, a choice to make excuses or to make progress, a choice to waste time or to build your legacy. But here's the truth. Every decision you make today isn't just about right now. It's about the person you're becoming. Your future self is counting on you. Every single day you wake up faced with a series of choices, some small, some life-altering, but all of them significant in ways you may not immediately realize. The decision to hit snooze instead of getting up early to work on your goals, the choice to scroll mindlessly through social media instead of reading or learning something new, the temptation to skip the gym or put off that important project. These aren't just fleeting moments of weakness, They are the building blocks of your future. Every action you take or don't take is a brick laid in the foundation of the life you're constructing. And here's the undeniable truth. Your future self is standing on that foundation, waiting to see if it will hold or crumble beneath them. Think about it. Where you are right now is the direct result of choices you made weeks, months, even years ago. The discipline you exercised or didn't, the risk you took or avoided, the effort you invested or withheld, it all led you here. And just like that, the choices you're making today are scripting the story of where you'll be 5, 10, or 20 years from now. The version of you that exists in the future isn't some disconnected stranger. They are you, shaped by every decision, every habit, every moment of courage or cowardice you display now. Most people live in the illusion that they have time. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow or I'll get serious when things settle down. But time doesn't pause. The clock doesn't reset. Every day you delay, every opportunity you ignore, every ounce of effort you withhold is a debt your future self will have to pay. With interest, imagine waking up one day, years from now, looking in the mirror and realizing you're not where you wanted to be. The career you dreamed of never materialized. The body you promised yourself you'd build never took shape. The financial freedom you swore you'd achieve is still out of reach. And why? Because the you of today kept waiting for the right time, kept choosing comfort over commitment, kept believing that success would somehow find you without you having to chase it down. But here's the flip side. Every disciplined choice you make today is a gift to your future self. That extra hour of study, that's future you walking into a job interview with confidence. That workout you didn't skip, that's future you moving through life with energy and strength. That money you saved instead of wasting, that's future you enjoying financial peace instead of scrambling to make ends meet. The compound effect of small, consistent actions is staggering. You may not see the results immediately, but rest assured, they are coming. The problem is we're wired to prioritize instant gratification over delayed reward. It's easier to binge a show than to work on a side hustle. It's easier to eat junk food than to meal prep. It's easier to procrastinate than to face the discomfort of growth. But easy choices today create a hard life tomorrow, while hard choices today create an easy life tomorrow. Your future self doesn't care about your excuses. They don't care that you were tired, that you were busy, that you didn't feel like it. They only care about one thing. Did you do what was necessary when it mattered? This is why accountability is everything. You have to start seeing your future self as a real person. Someone you love, someone you're responsible for, someone you refuse to let down. Because when you make a bad choice today, you're not just cheating yourself in the moment. You're robbing the person you're meant to become. That dream you have, that vision you keep tucked away in your heart, is not going to magically manifest. It's going to be built brick, choice by choice, day by day. And let's be clear, this isn't about perfection. It's about perfection. It's about direction. You will have setbacks. You will have days where you fall short. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the willingness to keep going, to course correct, to refuse to let temporary failure define permanent outcomes. Your future self isn't expecting you to be flawless. They're just begging you to show up, to fight for them even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So the next time you're faced with a choice, whether to push forward or pull back, to take the risk or play it safe, to invest in yourself or waste another hour, remember, you are not just deciding for today. You are deciding for every version of you that comes after. The stakes are higher than you think. The consequences run deeper than you realize. And the person you're becoming is counting on the choices you make right now. Don't let them down. The pain of regret is a weight that crushes the soul in ways discipline never could. When you choose comfort over growth today, you're not avoiding pain. You're just deferring it to a future version of yourself who will feel it 10 times worse. Discipline demands temporary sacrifice, but regret is an eternal whisper in your ear, a haunting voice that says, you should have, why didn't you? That's the difference between the two pains. Discipline shapes you while regret breaks you. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones who've achieved extraordinary things. Their lives weren't magically easier than yours. They didn't have some secret advantage handed to them. The only difference is that when faced with the choice between what was easy and what was necessary, they chose the path of discipline. They embraced the grind when others ran from it. They understood something fundamental. The temporary discomfort of hard work is nothing compared to the lifelong agony of wondering what could have been. Right now, you might be resisting discipline because it feels heavy. Waking up early is hard. Saying no to distractions is hard. Yeah. Pushing through self-doubt is hard. But what's even harder, looking back years from now and realizing you had everything it took to succeed, except the willingness to endure short-term discomfort. That's the cruel irony of regret. It shows up too late, long after the opportunity to change has passed. The I'll start tomorrow mentality is a trap because tomorrow isn't promised. And even when it comes, it brings its own new challenges. The time to act is always now. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment, but in reality, it's the highest form of self-respect. Every time you choose discipline, you're sending a message to your future self. You matter enough to me that I'm willing to struggle today so you can thrive tomorrow. Contrast that with the message you send when you constantly take the easy way out. Future me will figure it out. I'd rather feel good now. But future you won't have the luxury of time or untapped potential. Future, you will only have consequences, either the rewards of your discipline or the crushing weight of your neglect. Consider this, the pain of discipline is measurable. It lasts for a set period, an hour at the gym, a few months of focused work, a year of consistent effort. But the pain of regret, it has no expiration date. It lingers in the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts. It resurfaces when you see others living the life you wanted for yourself. It festers when you realize that the only thing standing between you and your dreams was your own unwillingness to endure temporary hardship. This isn't about never making mistakes. Everyone stumbles. It's about the pattern of your choices. One day of skipping a workout won't ruin you, but a habit of laziness will. One unproductive afternoon isn't catastrophic, but a lifestyle of procrastination is. The danger isn't in single missteps. It's in the repeated decision to prioritize fleeting comfort over lasting fulfillment. The most heartbreaking part? Regret is entirely preventable. Unlike failure, which is often outside your control, regret stems purely from your own choices. You can't always control outcomes, but you can always control your effort. That means regret isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose through inaction. Every time you avoid the discomfort of discipline, you're actively choosing the future pain of regret. Discipline builds muscle, not just in your body, but in your character. Each time you push through resistance, you strengthen your ability to handle bigger challenges. Regret, on the other hand, weakens you. It erodes your self-trust, your confidence, your belief in what's possible. Oh, the person who consistently chooses discipline grows more capable. The person who consistently avoids it grows more burdened by what-ifs. There's a moment of truth you'll eventually face. Maybe today, maybe years from now, where you'll have to reconcile who you are with who you could have been. In that moment, you won't remember the temporary relief of taking the easy way out. You'll only feel the absence of what you didn't fight for. The irony is that the very things you resist, the effort, the struggle, the daily grind, are the exact experiences that would have made your life extraordinary. The math is simple. Discipline costs you minutes, hours, maybe years of focused effort. Regret costs you a lifetime of wondering. One is an investment, the other is a debt that never gets paid off. Every time you're tempted to cut corners, ask yourself, is avoiding this temporary discomfort worth a permanent sense of unfulfillment? The answer is always no. Success isn't handed out. It's extracted through relentless sacrifice. The moment you decide you want something extraordinary, you sign an invisible contract with destiny that demands payment in sweat, sleepless nights, and uncomfortable choices. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going, no back doors to greatness. Every champion, every visionary, every person who's ever broken through barriers understands this fundamental truth. What you want badly enough require giving up what you want right now. The world operates on a simple but brutal equation. You either pay the price up front through discipline or pay it later through regret. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they're unwilling to make the necessary sacrifices when it matters most. When that matters most. They want the six-pack abs, but not the early morning workouts. They dream of financial freedom, but won't sacrifice weekend parties to build their business. They crave respect and influence, but refuse to put in the lonely hours mastering their craft. This is the great paradox of achievement. You must surrender comfort to gain something greater. Consider the anatomy of any significant accomplishment. Behind every overnight success are years of unnoticed struggle. That best-selling author sacrificed countless evenings when friends were out having fun. That elite athlete gave up normal teenage experiences to train. That entrepreneur risked security and weathered sleepless nights of uncertainty. The common thread isn't luck or genius. It's the willingness to exchange temporary pleasures for lasting rewards. When others were taking the easy path, they chose the difficult one because they understood. Comfort is the enemy of progress. There's an undeniable mathematics to achievement. For every hour invest in your craft, you withdraw confidence. Every book read deposits knowledge. Each resisted temptation compounds into stronger willpower. But this wealth only accumulates through consistent investment. Sporadic effort yields sporadic results. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't necessarily more gifted. They're simply more committed to the daily exchange rate of success. They show up when they don't feel like it, push when they're tired, and continue when others quit. This sacrifice isn't about deprivation for its own sake. It's about prioritization. You're not giving up happiness. You're trading immediate gratification for profound fulfillment. That night out with friends becomes a strategic session for your business plan. That hour of mindless television transforms into skill development. That impulsive purchase converts into an investment in your future. The currency changes, but the transaction remains. What are you willing to exchange for the life you claim to want? Human nature constantly seeks the path of least resistance, but growth lives in the opposite direction. Whoa. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., when the gym feels unbearable, when rejection stings, these are the moments that define your trajectory. Comfort will always whisper convincing lies. Just this once won't matter, but champions understand the compound effect of small choices. That extra rep when you're exhausted, that additional hour of study when you're drained, that one more sales call when you're discouraged. These are the deposits that eventually yield extraordinary returns. The most dangerous myth in personal development is the idea of balance. True achievement demands periods of intense focus and sacrifice. You can have everything, just not all at once. The seasons of your life will require saying no to good things to say yes to great ones. This isn't about neglecting relationships or health. It's about understanding that building something meaningful requires temporary imbalance. The key is making these sacrifices consciously rather than accidentally, strategically rather than reactively. Financial freedom requires sacrificing impulsive spending today for investments tomorrow. Physical excellence demands exchanging lazy mornings for rigorous training. Professional mastery means trading entertainment time for skill development and soul development. These aren't punishments. They're conscious choices made by people who understand delayed gratification. The happiest, most fulfilled people aren't those who avoided struggle, but those who chose their struggles wisely in pursuit of something greater. There's an invisible war being waged every day between your present desire and future aspirations. Every temptation is a test of your commitment to the person you're becoming. That dessert, that distraction, that easy way out, they're not just choices about this moment. They're votes for the kind of life you'll eventually lead. Successful people don't have more willpower, they have clearer vision. When the temptation to quit arises, they can see beyond the present discomfort to the future reward. This journey requires developing what psychologists call temporal motivation, the ability to make present decisions based on future benefits rather than immediate feelings. It's the mental muscle that allows you to bypass emotional impulses in service of larger goals. Like any skill, it strengthens with practice. Each time you choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure, you're not just moving toward your goals, you're fundamentally rewiring your brain's reward system to value delayed success over instant gratification. The sacrifices that seem unbearable today will become your greatest sources of pride tomorrow. You'll look back not with resentment at what you gave up, but with awe at what you gained through those choices. The temporary discomfort fades, but the permanent results remain. This is the alchemy of achievement, transforming present moment sacrifices into lifelong rewards through the fire of consistent action. Legacy is built in these quiet moments of decision, when no one is watching and the easy path beckons. What makes ordinary people extraordinary isn't some magical quality. It's the accumulation of unglamorous choices to do what matters most rather than what feels easiest. The road to greatness is paved with these small daily acts of courage. The courage to sacrifice now for something greater later. There will always be reasons to postpone the difficult work. More favorable circumstances, more energy, more time. But waiting for perfect conditions is the surest way to ensure they never arrive. The magic happens not when everything is aligned, but in spite of everything being against you. Starting before you're ready, continuing when you're exhausted, persisting when results are invisible, these are the sacrifices that separate dreamers from doers. The modern world is engineered to make sacrifice seem unnecessary. Instant delivery, on-demand entertainment, quick fixes, everything whispers that you shouldn't have to wait or work too hard. But real achievement operates by different rules. Lasting success still requires the ancient virtues: patience, persistence, and the willingness to exchange comfort for growth. The people who change the world understand that some things can't be rushed or circumvented. They must be earned through deliberate, consistent effort. This isn't about glorifying struggle for its own sake, but recognizing that meaningful goals demand meaningful effort. The size of your dream determines the size of the price you must pay. Small dreams require small sacrifices. Visionary goals demand extraordinary ones. The question isn't whether you'll pay, it's what you're willing to pay for. When you find yourself resisting the necessary work, reconnect with your deeper why. The sacrifices become bearable when the destination is compelling enough. History remembers those who are willing to pay the price others avoided. In your own life, the same principle applies. The career you want, the relationships you desire, the impact you envision, all wait on the other side of necessary sacrifices. Not meaningless suffering, but purposeful choices to exchange what's good now for what's great later. This is how ordinary people build extraordinary lives, not by luck, but by the courageous daily decision to pay the price their future demands. Now, time is the great equalizer, the one resource distributed perfectly equally to every human being on the planet. Each day, you're gifted the same 86,400 seconds as the most successful people in history. Yet how you choose to spend those seconds determines whether years from now you'll be celebrating your progress or mourning your wasted potential. The clock is always ticking, indifferent to your excuses, unmoved by your procrastination. While you debate whether to start today or wait for the right time, time itself continues marching forward without your permission. Most people dramatically underestimate the power of small daily actions compounded over years. They look for shortcuts and quick fixes when the real secret to extraordinary results lies in showing up consistently, while others get distracted. That extra hour spent learning a new skill each day amounts to 365 hours in a year, the equivalent of 9 40-hour work weeks of concentrated growth. 5 years of that discipline equals over 1,800 hours, enough to master nearly any discipline. Yet the majority squander these golden hours on trivialities, then wonder why their lives never change. The brutal truth is that time exposes all our empty promises to ourselves. There's a dangerous illusion that permeates modern thinking, the belief that you can always catch up later. But life doesn't work in reverse. The college student who parties instead of studying can't reclaim those lost semesters. The aspiring entrepreneur who keeps delaying their business idea can't get back those years of market experience. The would-be athlete who postpones training can't recover their prompt physical years. Time operates in one direction only, and every day you're either moving closer to your goals or further away. There's no neutral. The most successful people understand this fundamental law of time. It's not about having enough time, but making the most of the time you have. They view each day as a precious block of potential that can either be invested or wasted. While others complain about busy schedules, achievers audit their hours with ruthless precision, eliminating time wasters and optimizing every moment. They recognize that wealth can be regained, relationships mended, and health restored, but time spent is gone forever. This awareness creates an urgency that fuels their daily actions. Consider two people starting at the same point with identical dreams. One dedicates just one focused hour per day toward their goal while the other waits for more time. After 1 year, the first person has banked 365 hours of deliberate practice, while the second has nothing but good intentions. After 5 years, the gap becomes insurmountable, 1825 hours versus 0. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things, not through massive single actions, but through consistent small ones that accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Modern society has become a minefield of time, traps designed to hijack your attention. Social media feeds engineered for addiction, endless streaming options, the constant ping of notifications, all conspiring to fragment your focus and steal your most valuable resource. The average person will spend years of their life mindlessly scrolling, binge watching, and engaging in empty digital consumption. Meanwhile, their dreams gather dust, waiting for a someday that never comes. Breaking free requires recognizing these time thieves for what they are, the silent killers of potential. Your daily routines are quietly writing the story of your life. The 30 minutes spent learning a language each morning, the weekly networking lunch, the evening reflection and planning. These small habits don't feel dramatic in the moment, but compound into life-altering results. Conversely, the harmless daily distractions, the extra 30 minutes of sleep when you should be working out, the impulse online shopping during work hours, the hours lost to video games, these two compound just in the wrong direction. Time magnifies whatever you feed it, for better or worse. There's a powerful question that can transform your relationship with time. Will this matter a year from now? Most of what consumes our attention today won't even be remembered next month, let alone next year. The petty arguments, the trending topics, the trivial concerns, they fade into irrelevance while the important work gets postponed. People who achieve remarkable things develop the ability to distinguish between what's urgent and what's truly important in them. They protect their time like investors guard their capital, knowing every minute spent is an irrevocable investment in some future outcome. Aging has a way of sharpening one's perspective on time. People in their final years rarely regret what they did, but overwhelmingly lament what they didn't do. The risks not taken, the passions not pursued, the love not expressed. This wisdom often comes too late when time can no longer be reclaimed. The tragedy isn't that life is short, but that most people waste so much of it before realizing its value. The fortunate ones grasp this truth early enough to course correct, understanding that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. Productivity isn't about cramming more into each day, but about aligning your time with your true priorities. Many people spend their days efficiently climbing ladders only to discover they're leaning against the wrong walls. The key isn't merely managing time, but managing attention and intention. What separates high achievers isn't their ability to multitask, but their discipline to single task on what truly moves the needle. They understand that being busy isn't the same as being productive, and that activity without purpose is the drain on all meaningful progress. The digital age has created an illusion of speed, instant communication, on-demand entertainment, rapid-fire information. But meaningful achievement still operates on nature's timetable. Skills take time to develop. Relationships take time to deepen. Mastery takes time to cultivate. No aping shortcut the necessary hours of practice, the inevitable failures, the gradual improvement that leads to excellence. The impatient are always at war with this reality, constantly seeking hacks instead of putting in the work, only to find themselves years later still searching for shortcuts while the diligent pass them by. Your future self is watching how you spend these irreplaceable hours. They're either being built up through your wise investments or being betrayed by your thoughtless squandering. Each morning presents a fresh allocation of 40 minutes, another chance to move closer to your potential or remain stuck in mediocrity. The clock doesn't care what you choose, but your future will be defined by these daily decisions. Time is the canvas on which you paint your life's masterpiece. What emerges depends entirely on how you choose to use each stroke. The most dangerous aspect of time is its silent accumulation. Days slip into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, all while you're waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Before you know it, a decade has passed and you're left wondering where the time went. This is why the ancient philosophers warned about the brevity of life and the importance of seizing the day. Not as a cliche, but as a vital recognition that each moment is a non-renewable resource that either brings you closer to your destiny or leaves you stranded in regret. There's an undeniable mathematics to time management. If you dedicate just 2 hours per day to your most important goal, a modest investment, that amounts to 730 hours annually. Over 5 years, you've logged 3,650 hours, the equivalent of working a full-time job for nearly 2 years on that single objective. This is how ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things, not through superhuman efforts, but through consistent human ones. The compound effect transforms modest daily actions into staggering long-term results, while sporadic bursts of effort lead nowhere. The present moment is all you ever truly possess. The past is memory. The future is imagination, but now is where your power resides. Every great accomplishment, every life-changing decision, every moment of courage happens in the eternal now. The people who make their mark on the world understand this fundamental truth. They don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. They act today because they recognize that today is all there ever really is. Tomorrow's success is built on today's choices, and the future belongs to those who show up in the present. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every ounce of effort you invest today isn't just about checking off a task. It's an act of faith in the person you're destined to become. That future version of yourself doesn't exist in some far-off fantasy. They're being constructed brick by brick through your daily choices. When you push through exhaustion to get that workout in, you're not just burning calories. You're building the strong, resilient body your future self will inhabit. When you stay late to perfect your craft, you're not just putting in hours. You're depositing confidence and competence into your future self's bank account. These aren't abstract concepts, but tangible investments with compounding returns that will pay out at the exact moment your future self needs them most. The bridge between who you are and who you want to become is built on these seemingly insignificant daily decisions. That extra 30 minutes spent studying when you're tired, that's future you acing the certification exam. The networking event you force yourself to attend when you'd rather stay home, that's future you landing a career-changing opportunity. The savings you diligently set aside instead of splurging, that's future you weathering an unexpected financial storm. We dramatically underestimate how these small acts of discipline accumulate into life-altering advantages, just as we underestimate how small acts of negligence snowball into devastating consequences. Your future self lives in the compound interest of your present actions. Consider two people of equal talent starting their careers. One who dedicates just 30 minutes daily to skill development beyond job requirements, and another who does only what's immediately necessary. After 1 year, the first person has banked over 180 hours of deliberate growth. After 5 years, that's 900 hours, the equivalent of 6 months of full-time training. When promotion opportunities arise, it's not even a competition. The same principle applies to physical health, relationships, financial stability. Every domain of life rewards those who plant seeds today for the harvest their future self will reap. There's a profound psychological shift that occurs when you start seeing your future self as a real person, depending on your current choices. It transforms discipline from deprivation to devotion, not giving up what you want now, but giving to who you'll become. The marathon runner doesn't skip training because they've made a promise to their future self crossing the finish line. The entrepreneur endures sleepless nights because they're committed to their future self celebrating the grand opening. This perspective turns willpower into a different kind of power, the strength that comes from loving someone enough to sacrifice for them, even when that someone is your own unfolding potential. We often misunderstand the nature of self-improvement, thinking it's about fixing some deficiency in our present selves. But true growth is more like architectural work. You're not just patching cracks in today's structure. You're laying foundations for skyscrapers that won't be visible for years. That language you're learning might not feel useful now, but future you will need it when the overseas opportunity arises. Those leadership books gathering dust on your shelf contain principles that won't make sense until future you faces that management crisis. The investments you make today often don't pay dividends until the exact moment they're needed most, like some cosmic trust fund maturing at the perfect instant. The most successful people operate with this future self-consciousness guiding their decisions. They ask not just what do I want now, but what will the person I'm becoming need from me today? This creates a powerful accountability loop. Every choice becomes a vote for or against your highest potential. That dessert tempting you at the restaurant isn't just about tonight's cravings. It's about whether you're honoring or betraying the healthier version of yourself you're trying to create. That extra Netflix episode isn't just harmless entertainment. It's stealing from the more knowledgeable, skilled person you could be with that hour of study. Your brain is remarkably adaptable. A phenomenon scientists call neuroplasticity. Every thought you think, every skill you practice, every habit you reinforce physically reshapes your neural pathways. This means your future self literally has a different brain based on today's choices. The pianist practicing scales is sculpting the neural architecture that will allow future performances. The meditator cultivating mindfulness is strengthening the prefrontal circuits that will enable future emotional regulation. You're not just deciding how to spend your time, you're architecting the very mind your future self will inhabit. This principle extends beyond individual achievement to your relationships and impact. The patience you exercise with your children today shapes the adults they'll become and the relationship you'll share decades later. The integrity you demonstrate in small business dealings compounds into a reputation that will open or close doors for future you. Even your spiritual or philosophical growth, those quiet moments of reflection and study, are building the wisdom future you will need when life presents its toughest challenges. Nothing exists in isolation. Every action ripples forward through time. Technology has conditioned us to expect instant results, but personal transformation follows nature's rhythms, silent, gradual, and inevitable when given consistent care. The bamboo tree shows no visible growth for years while developing an extensive root system, then suddenly shoots up 90 feet in weeks. Your development works the same way. Those months of seemingly unrewarded effort are creating invisible infrastructure that will support visible success when conditions are right. Future, you will look back recognizing how apparently insignificant actions were actually critical preparation periods. There's an emotional dimension to this future self-investment that's often overlooked. The confidence you'll feel in challenging situations isn't manufactured in the moment. It's earned through hundreds of small victories in preparation. That public speaker commanding the stage with ease isn't drawing on some innate talent, but on countless hours of practice their past self endured. The leader making tough decisions under pressure isn't suddenly courageous. They're standing on the accumulated wisdom of all the books read, mentors consulted, and experiences processed over years. Your future emotional resilience is being stockpiled today through each choice to face discomfort rather than avoid it. Financial advisors talk about paying yourself first, setting aside savings before other expenses. The same principle applies to personal growth. Investing in your future self can't be what's left after distractions take their share. It must be the first priority. Those 20 pages read before checking your phone in the morning, that workout before turning on the TV, that skill practice before scrolling social media. These are ways you pay your future self first. Over time, this habit creates astonishing wealth of ability, health, and opportunity that can't be taken away. The marketplace brutally rewards those who prepare and punishes those who don't. That job opportunity won't wait until you're ready. It goes to whoever's prepared now. That health crisis doesn't care if you meant to start exercising. It attacks the body you've actually built. The economic downturn doesn't pause for you to finally save money. It tests the financial habits you've established over years. Future you isn't some hypothetical idea. They're the living, breathing person who will inherit the consequences of every choice you're making this second. The question isn't whether you're building your future. It's whether you're building your future. It's whether you're building it intentionally or accidentally.